In the Car with Clint, episode 400. Good morning, and welcome to In the Car with Clint. Who would have thought it? 400 episodes of In the Car with Clint. I'm sure there was plenty doubters out there. Actually, that's not probably true. I sometimes say, what did I say? I'm like, oh, we did it, and no one believed in me. Which is kind of just a funny thing that I think is funny to say, but I don't think anyone's actually said they don't believe in me. So I just, to go back to the old days of 20-minute In the Car with Clint, it might not be that long. I just want to talk about where things are at. Obviously, I started this series with the intention of communicating daily about the things that I'm thinking about and how I'm feeling and things I'm learning and the challenges that I'm overcoming, and sharing my journey in the hope that probably two things. One, I leave a legacy of videos that generations that follow me may use to reflect on me as a dad, me as a granddad, me as a great-granddad, and also to hopefully share what I think is a very unique perspective on the world, right? Like, we're all individuals and we're all unique, and I know I don't fit into any other, I'm kind of not like a, I don't know, hectagonal peg that doesn't fit in a rectangular hole. Like, it's different, right? That's why my social media handles is very Clint. Like, I think that it's just very Clint, and some of the behaviors don't suit everyone, but what you see is what you get, and I'm hoping that my unique perspective shines light more than makes dark, and that I make the world a better place, and that I, if nothing else, give people an opportunity to think about things differently. So 400 episodes ago, I don't know what we were doing, but currently we're about to spring into spring. South Australia for the last couple of years have had some really wet winters and some wet summers. I'm quite optimistic that we're going to have a good season this year, but I'm also thinking that we're going to see an extraordinary amount of bankruptcies. I've got a few large bad debts that are hanging over at the moment that I feel like they might fall down. And I think that there was so much money in the system, a lot of people got comfortable spending it, and there was a lot of relaxed behaviour from the ATO and the government around obligations. And so I said to the team the other day, I think this financial year, we will have a good year with growth of turnover. I don't know that profits will increase much. I think it's going to be competitive. But I also think that the growth of turnover, and which will obviously give us a higher dollar profit, will be negated by bankruptcies. And so we're being very, 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 very careful around how we manage bad debts. And we have increased our intensity around closing those debts. So I don't know what value that might bring anyone, but I think it's important to make sure that more than ever, the relationships that you've had for the last 3, 5, 10, 15, 20 years that are ongoing and supportive and reliable and that pay you on time, they're the relationships that I would encourage you to be nurturing and protecting. It's very easy to chase shiny objects, and when you're trying to grow a business, to chase work that looks exciting, but the reality is you don't really know these people, and you don't know their business and how they operate. And so as much as I like that growth and excitement, I think right now a stability mindset might be well rewarded. This calendar year, dude driving a remote control car the size of you could fit a kid in it. This calendar year, I have kind of made a conscious decision to take a bit of a gap year. I've been speaking to a lot of people that are older than me, wiser than me, more advanced than me, with adult children, who have reminded me of something that I'm very aware of, that your children will be adults in the blink of an eye. And I now have a 10-year-old and two 6-year-olds who are obviously, thankfully getting older every day. And so I wanted to spend more time being around for them this year than I have in the past. And I've always been good with sports days and that, but just, you know, holiday. And I guess some people might watch this and go, but haven't you been traveling a lot as well? I have, and I've also made a conscious effort to make sure that I enjoy my year this year and that I do the things that I want to do. And I think sometimes selfish behavior can be looked negatively upon, and I like to look at it more being self-first than being selfish. And I believe that if I'm self-first, it puts me in a mental position and a headspace to be able to be more supportive of the people that I love and care for when they need it, rather than me burning myself out. Like, you get these kind of like hero entrepreneur figureheads that like work so much that they're not there for anyone else, right? Like, they're like hustle 100 week days, 100-hour days and 100-hour weeks. Jesus, Clint. But then that's fine, and there's income there, but then they're not there and they're not present. So I've been more conscious of that this year, and I've got some great travel coming up with my family and obviously with business and with friends, which I'm really looking forward to. And the plan is to almost use that as a point of reset and then springboard into the next calendar year quite aggressively. People have asked me recently, you know, do you still plan to open stores, blah blah blah? Yeah, and I do. Obviously I might have mentioned that I've been in the US recently talking to irrigation store owners that own anywhere from 14 to say 250 odd stores, and it is still my intent and my desire to open a national chain of irrigation shops that turn over circa $100 million and support the Australian market, because I think that the irrigation industry deserves it. I think that what we do is unique. I think it's also healthy for us to hold the big dogs to account. I think that, you know, without the involvement of independent businesses, sometimes the bigger businesses can start to creep, and all of a sudden you've got a monopoly or a duopoly that's not being challenged by innovative, free-thinking, you know, community-involved independents. And so that matters to me. And I also just want to do it. I think that and this is going to sound like a fucking wanker sentence, but I genuinely believe that I possess something unique and special that I haven't discovered yet that will make the world a better place. And that on its own is going to sound really bad. But I want to see how far I can go with this. And I think that potential is only potential unless you execute. And so I don't want to look back in 20 years and regret not having a crack. I'm doing it steadily, and you know, I get frustrated by the fact that we're only at $15 million and I'm chasing 100, and I get reassured when I hear stories of companies that are 45 years old that are at 70 million. In saying that, you know, there's peers or people inside the industry that are, you know, half that age that are at that size. So I know that it's possible, and that's why I spend time learning by watching and doing, and watching and listening and asking questions to people that are doing what I'm trying to do. So all in all, it's been a very good life, if we want to get really funny about it. I feel like, I don't know if it's a positive mindset thing, but you know, the world was made for me, and I just kind of grab it with two hands and go, say yes to everything, and work it out on the fly. And sometimes that can be frustrating for the people around me, but it is what it is, and that's who I am. I hate the sentence, it is what it is. I think it's what people say when they can't explain something, but it is what it is. So yeah, thanks for following along on the journey. I hope that it's brought value. I'm not stopping. I'm going to do this. You've probably noticed some days I don't. If I've got something that I think is of value to share with the world, then I'll share it. I hope to be even more transparent as the time goes by, and talk about everything that's, you know, going on. And some days I feel like it's a waste of time, and I think, you know, I don't know, I've got 190 subscribers or something, and that it's not worth it, and that it's a waste of time, and you know, no one watches this shit anyway. And then I'll get a handwritten note from someone saying thank you for everything that you do, or I'll get a comment says, you know, I agree with this, or this made me really think about it. But the best ones are when I get a DM or a message or bump into someone. They're like, hey, that video the other day that and I'm like, oh man, people are watching this, and that makes me really happy. So thank you for being part of In the Car with Clint. Content will continue to come, and you know, hopefully we can I want to do a podcasting series as soon as I can, really, that's not landscape related, that's more general business related. So stay tuned. If you haven't subscribed, now's the time. Anyway, I mean it when I say make sure you look after each other, and most importantly, look after yourself. Talk to you soon.